Alright, y'all, today we're going to be ranking all Beamng cars. As you can see here, all probably 25-ish of them on this tier list. And I'll link the tier list in the description, so if you want to use it, if you want to try it out for yourself or whatever, you can do that. It'll be in the description. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and start off in this order, as you can see. So starting with the Grand Marshal and then with the Widgeon. And we'll see where they land. So the first one, the Grand Marshal. I don't really use this car enough. It's an old American Crown Vic kind of Chevy Caprice kind of thing. It's cool. It's rear-wheel drive. It's a muscle car, but that's about it. I don't really use it all that often, but when I do, I have fun with it. Although it doesn't really handle all that well or anything. It's just kind of there. But when I do use it, it's kind of fun, I guess. But again, it's just kind of there, and I don't really like it all that much. Plus, it's not that good looking either, and it's one of like 17 90s 90s and before American cars. There's a lot of old American cars, and this is just one of them. It's just kind of there, and it's not very cool. It doesn't really have anything standing out for it that would even make me want to put it in B category, so it just goes to C. Not good, but not just bad either. Alright, the next one, we have the bus. The bus. So, essentially, that's all it is just a bus. It's cool if you want to ram things. If you want to have fun, like, just destroying stuff, this is the best car for that. But other than that, that's about it. It has no acceleration, because, you know, it's a bus. It pretty much can't do anything else other than destroy stuff. But it's pretty good at what it can do. And so with that, I'll give it a B, just because, you know, it's a bus. You're not really do a top speed run. You're not going to take it down Utah and have fun with it without crashing it. It's just too big for that, and so that's where it belongs. Alright, next is the Bastion. So the Bastion's kind of interesting solely because, well, it's a new American car, which is something that we desperately needed in this game. This is the newest American car we've had in the game. Before that, the newest one was like 2005 or something. It was ridiculously old. And then this came out, and it's like a 2020 or 2021, so it really does help. Anyway, that's the point. The point is, this is pretty much a Walmart Dodge Charger, and it behaves just like a Dodge Charger. You even have caged mode, just like you would have in the Charger. I don't remember what it's called, but whatever the case is, where it will kind of silence. It's like it'll calm the engine. Now, I don't really know how to explain it, but it's really cool. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. It's on like the Charger. It's on the Charger Hellcat, and it'll calm the engine down and it'll quiet it. And it's just really cool. Plus, it has a supercharger whine and everything. I really like that. It's really cool. It's easily an S tier car, one of the best cars in the game. It's a Charger. Nothing else to it. It is exactly a Charger, and it behaves like one because that's pretty much what it is. They put a lot of detail. They put a lot of thought. They put a lot of effort into this thing. They got pretty much everything down. Attention to detail. And with the Bastion, it's just amazing. It was a very, very, very good car, and one of the best cars in the game. I use it all the time, to be honest, whenever I play it. Next one, Hopper. This one, solely good at being an off-roader. Yeah, they have a drag variant, but who's really using that? No one. This thing is solely good. Its only use is off-roading, rock crawling. And if you're into that kind of stuff, if you play Beamng all the time and you just do rock crawling, this will probably be your favorite car. But, you know, if you want to do other things, I mean, it can do it, like it's body on frame. You can peel the frame off with the cannon. But other than that, it's just kind of there. And it gets B tier. It's not a good car, not a bad car. It's just kind of only one use, and that's it. Once you're done with that, it's it. Like the Bastion, there's an off-road version. There's a speed version. You know, you got all sorts of different drivetrains. You got all sorts of different powertrains. You got a V6. You got rear-wheel drive. There's even electric. It's just a lot of cool things for the Bastion. Off-road, everything. Whereas the bus and the Hopper, just kind of there. They only have one thing that they're good at and nothing else. And then the Grand Marshal doesn't really have anything that it's particularly good at. Anyway, I-Series. Nothing's wrong with the I-Series, but just kind of there. Like, I don't really use it. When I use it, it's not particularly fun. It's not particularly thrilling. I mean, the null hard version is fun, but other than that, it's not particularly interesting or fun or anything. It's just kind of there. It gets C. It's gonna get a high C. It's very close to B, but it just doesn't really have anything fun enough for it to be B. Like, sure, there's a high performance version here and there, but I mean, that's about it. Like, that's all it is. All right, K series. This one's nice. It's a modern luxury sporty coupe, which is cool, and it's very good at what it does. It's fast, it looks good, it handles well, it crashes well. It does pretty much everything except off-road, which, you know, that's fine. It's just overall a very good package for what it is. It is very fun just to drive, just you know, you just want to cruise around Utah, you can do it. You want to cruise around East Coast USA, you can do that. Nothing is wrong with this car, and I absolutely love it. Not quite S tier, but it's definitely solid A tier, I'd say. Next up, we have the Legron, the stereotypical grandma car. Now, there are a few configurations for this, like you have a sedan, you have a wagon, you have some other ones that I can't quite think of right now. I mean, it's cool when you really get down into it. Like, if you use this car a lot, it would be cool. But for me, I don't really use it all that often. It's just kind of another 80s car. It's just like, nothing's wrong with it, but it's just kind of there. It's just another one of those cars that I don't really use all that often. But when I do, it's just kind of mediocre at best, and it gets yet another C tier. All right, the next one, the Miramar. There's a drift version of it. That's literally it. I've probably used this car like 3 times since I got the game in 2017. I don't really like it. It's just kind of there. I mean, it's right-hand drive, which I guess is cool. I can't really think of many other things to say. I don't want to give it a D tier. It's just barely gonna squeeze into that C tier. Nothing too special about it. I know a lot of you guys are gonna get mad and say, "Well, there's a lot," but I don't really like the Miramar all that much. It's an old Japanese car. It's right-hand drive, which is kind of weird if you want to get an interior camera. It's kind of weird. It's just not all that good, if you ask me. All right, next one, Moonhawk. Moonhawk is cool. You know, it's fast. It's a cool old American car, but you know, there's like 5 old American cars. You know, it's kind of overkill, if you ask me. Nothing's wrong with it. Just another old American car. You can see old American car, old American car, old American car, old American car. It's just like 7 of them. Like, it's too many of them, honestly, and it gets a C tier. Just doesn't stand out whatsoever. All right, Corvette. This is one of the OGs in the game, like one of the first 5 cars, I think, in the game. This may have been like one of the first cars in the game. But other than that, I mean, you can drift in it, but it's only got one drivetrain. It's only got one powertrain, pretty much. All 4 cylinders, all front-wheel drive. It's pretty much an EF Civic, like an early 90s Civic. I don't remember what the code name was, but you know what I mean. It's an early 90s Civic. Nothing's cool about it. I mean, other than the fact that it was one of the original cars in the game, nothing really stands out about this car for me. Like, there's nothing that would make me want to choose this over, like, I don't know, a Pessima or something like that. Like, it's not cool. Like, it's just kind of there. But simply because it's an OG car, it's going to get B tier. Can't give it any higher than that because, you know, I don't really use it all that much. And you can't really do anything with it. It's slow. It's front-wheel drive only, so you can't go off-roading with it even if you wanted to. I mean, you could drift it, but that's it. And it crashes all right. It's unibody. It's just... It's fine, I guess. All right, 200BX, another just middle-of-the-road kind of car. Easy B. Don't really use it. When I do, it's fine. Just middle-of-the-road kind of stuff. Nothing's too special about it. Nothing's wrong with it, but nothing's just... There's nothing special about it. It doesn't bring anything to the table. Just easy B's here. All right, Bolide. Now, if this were before the update, I'd be honest, this would probably get a D tier because I did not like the Bullite before. But I love the Bullite now. Simply because they completely overhauled it. So the first thing is they gave us a bunch of new configurations because before we were lacking very, very heavily in configurations. Now we have like a solid 10 to 12 of them, if not more, and it's really cool. We're not missing any configurations. The configurations are amazing in this car. But the main thing that makes me really love this car is that now it splits into 3 pieces when you crash it. And so I was playing the game when the update first dropped for the bullet, and I had a cannon, and I shot the cannon, and the bullet split into 3 different pieces. That was the coolest thing in the world. And I knew the dev said that it would do that. I didn't really think it would be that easy, but it did it. It split into 3 different pieces. I think that's the coolest thing in the world. And because of that, it gets an A. It gets an A tier. Before, it probably would have gotten D, maybe C if I was feeling generous, but it easily gets A. One of the best cars in the game. Easily a top 10 best car in the game. It's one of my favorites. It's cool. It handles well now, and it can pretty much do everything. It handles well. It sounds good, and it can it crashes very, 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 very nicely, which is just a bonus. All right, old Pessima, nothing too special about it. It's just old Pessima. I don't know why they made 2 generations of Pessima for this game. Like, it's just an old Pessima. Nothing at all special about this car. Not one thing I can say is redeeming about this car. It gets a D tier, and I know a lot of you guys are going to be upset about that. It's just my opinion, though. Just nothing special about it. Like, there's nothing for it would make me say I want to drive this over literally any other car. There's nothing in the world that would make me want to drive this over even like a Grand Marshal or something. Like, it's nothing. Nothing is cool about this car. And you know what? I'll give it a C just because, yeah, it deserves very low C class, just like the Miramar. Very, very, very low C class, very close to D, but it's not quite that bad. All right, old Pessima, middle of the road stuff. I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like it. It's blobby, very much 90s mid-size sedan. Think Taurus, like 3rd gen Taurus. Think that. That's what this is. Think Taurus, Accord, Camry, that kind of stuff. That's what this is from like 96 to 99. Just bland. I mean, they gave it a little update, but it didn't really do much. It's just kind of there. Like, most of them are from, I don't even know. Is it all for all-wheel drive or is it all front-wheel drive? I don't even know. But whatever the case, it's not that cool. It's just kind of there. When I do drive it, though, I have a decent time with it. Like, I don't get bored out of it like within 10 seconds, but it's definitely not something that I just drive. And so with that, it just gets B, just middle of the road stuff. All right, the Piccolina. I love this little thing. It's cute, it's small, it's nimble. That's about it. I mean, it crashes all right, but that's about it. Just because it's cute, small, nimble, gets an A tier. I like it. It's cool. It's just one of those iconic cars. Like, you can't give this like a B. Like, it's above average just because of how it looks, just because of how it is. Like, it had its own map and its own car. Like, the car and the map debuted together back in 2018, I think. And that was cool. So it's going to get an A. It's a cool car. All right, D series. A lot of y'all are going to be surprised about this. But I love the D series. Easily gets an S tier. I use this almost every time. It can do off-road. You have drag versions of it. You have rock crawling versions of it. It crashes nicely because it's body on frame. Pretty much, this thing is everything that you could want. You could drag race it and then go off-roading in it. Well, different variants, but all the same. It's D series. Very, very, very versatile car. You do pretty much anything you want it to do. Easily S tier. Pigeon, another one. Iconic, S tier. So glad that they gave us from the devs, not mod. From the devs, they gave us a four-wheeled version, which we definitely needed for better handling and off-roading, which I think very much helps. This thing is the king of Beamng, pretty much. When you think Beamng, you think Pigeon, and this thing is just that. It's not fast. It doesn't crash all that nicely. It doesn't handle, especially a 3-wheeled one. It doesn't handle all that good. but it's just so stupidly goofy. It's just a goofy it's so cartoonishly stupid that it gets an S class, because I just love it. Like, it's a 3-wheeled pickup truck from Japan. Like, it can top out at like 70 miles an hour. It's a stupid car. Now, if this weren't a pigeon, it would probably get C or D, but because it's a pigeon, it gets S. It's just how it is. Everyone loves a pigeon. All right. What is this? I don't even remember what this is called. The Blue Buck? I think, yeah, Blue Buck. See, I don't even remember its name. That's how irrelevant it is. It's an alright car. Like, it's got a lowrider version, which is cool. I mean, it's another old American car. And that's not a good thing. It's just so generic at this point. Just old American cars are what this game runs on, pretty much. And with that, it just gets a C. Like, nothing stands out about it. It brings nothing to the table. Actually, no, I'll give it a B, simply because that's that lowrider thing, and it can clear water with that thing. Like, it raises up a solid, I'd say, foot. It's pretty good, and so it gets B just because of that one saving grace. What is this? The Barstow? Cool car. Another old American car. C tier, not much to say, just old American car. Kind of bland, because that's just how it is. Just bland old American car. Gets C tier. Alright, Roamer. Roamer is another versatile one. Not quite D series level. I love the D series. But it's pretty versatile. It's an A class simply because you can go off-roading in it. You have like 25 million variants of it. Same thing with the D class or D series, because they're, you know, same platform. You can go off-roading in it. You can theoretically haul like 15 people in here. You could drag race and win against the Bolide. All in the same car. How much more versatile do you want this thing to do? You can go rock crawling in this thing and then beat a Bolide. Like, it's like you going rock crawling in a Suburban and then, you know, winning a drag race against a Ferrari. Same level of craziness. Like, you couldn't do really. It's like the TRX. It's like the TRX of all cars. Like, go rock crawling, go off roading, have a good time off road, and then turn around and win against a track focused sports car. Like, just one of those, and it's very cool. I love it. I love it anytime I drive it. It's absolutely amazing. One of the best all-rounders in the game. All right, ETK 800 series. I don't really use this car enough to really know too much about it. That automatically puts it in B. But what I do know about it is that it's just there. Like, I'm not even in real life, I'm not much of a wagon person, and this is a wagon. I've never really liked it. I've never really just thought to use it. Like, it's just kind of there. It's just an all-right car. Like, nothing special about it. It doesn't really bring anything to the table, for being honest. It's just kind of there. And so it goes in B. Burnside Special. I don't really know. It's slow. Another old American car. It's like a Buick Roadmaster from the 50s. Old American car. Automatic is very slow. It's dog slow. Manual is not much faster. I mean, you have a drag version. That thing's quick. But aside from the drag version, nothing else really makes the Burnside all that noticeable. It's a high C. We'll go high C class. All right, SBR4. This is a good one. This is a good one. I love the SBR4. You have electric variants of it. You have all-wheel drive. This thing is amazing. It's a real sports car. Like, this is a very, very just good car all around, I'd say. 9 out of 10. It's not quite S tier because you can't do everything with it. It's not iconic, but it's pretty good. Easily gets A class. Next up, T series. If you want to have fun just crushing cars, you get this. I mean, you have nitro in this thing, and that's about it. B class. It's just how it is. Nothing special about the car. you're not gonna really do anything other than try and intentionally destroy cars, which is what the game is for. Don't get me wrong, but other than that, that's all it is, and it's that's that. So it gets a B class. Sunburst, one of my favorite cars in the game, even though I don't really use it all that much. It was my favorite car in the game just to drive around in before this guy came around. But one of the better cars in the game if you just want to have fun. Handles well, have fast variants, have an off-road variant. Pretty much have everything. Gets an A class. It's not iconic, it's not legendary or anything, but it's very good. It can do pretty much anything, and it can do any and everything pretty much. Sunburst is amazing. Next one we have the Togrek. This is the ugly version of the Vivos. They ride on the same platform. Just ugly though. It's all it is. It's an ugly SUV. I don't think there's any high performance version of the Togrek. I know there's one of the Vivos, but not the Togrek. I don't think. I've tried it. It can't off road, even in off road mode. It cannot off road. I don't understand why someone would choose to off road in this versus anything else. But it cannot off road. That's that. It's a B class, just middle of the road stuff. Nothing special about it. Like, can't off road, can't do anything. Don't know why anybody would just choose to drive this around. I can't. It's like driving around in a RAV4. Like, get something better. Alright, H series, lovely van. I really do like it, especially with the new overhaul. I love it. Can off road. No high performance versions of it though, but I mean, I think there is. Maybe there is. I don't know. But if you love rock crawling like I do, this will be a very good one. Gets very high B tier. I was gonna give it A tier, but it's not quite on the status of the Bolide. I couldn't bring myself to put a van and a Bolide on the same tier. So yeah. Alright, next one, Vivos. Easy S tier. If you have not tried the rally spec versions of this car, best car in the game. Best car in the game when it comes to this kind of stuff. Just absolutely amazing car. I love the Vivos. Without the rally spec, it would probably be a high B, low A. But with the rally spec, that definitely brings it to a solid S tier. I love it. Wendover, one of those cars that no one really talks about all that much. Like, yeah, it's a cool car, but it's like an Alante, it's like a Riata. It's like all those weird GM failures, pretty much, mistakes from the late 80s, early 90s, and this is definitely an embodiment of this. Just there, like nothing special about it. It gets B class. I don't even really use it all that much. And then finally, the Widgeon. Widgeon is very cool, but the devs thought that this would overtake the Pigeon. Not quite. It gets very high A tier. Very weird little cheese block looking car. Very weird, but how can you not love the Widgeon? It's not quite S tier, but it's definitely one of the better cars in the game. And so that's every car rated. You can see no cars got D tier. I mean, one of them almost did, but then I changed my mind. But no cars got D tier. I don't really despise any Beamng cars, really. There's a lot that I don't like. C tier. I don't like them, but I drive them around for a little bit, give them the recognition they deserve. And then these are the ones that I pretty much love. Like iconic, like the Pigeon's iconic. The other three I just love driving around. Like they are the most driven cars by me. And then the other ones, just also they're all great cars. Just none of them can compete with the S tier pretty much. And so, again, I'll put the link for this in the description, and you can tell me what you think of all the Beamng cars rated. And so, I hope y'all enjoyed this video.